So, good evening again, and welcome to Cannon Fodder with a slightly extended version, could be, of Easy Talk, the bite-sized version. And I've got two familiar faces. Again, one who's taken it as a habit now of being on the channel every time we do an upload. That's Richard from Arsenal TV. Richard, good evening. How's it going?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for inviting me back on, Alex. And obviously, good evening to you and all, Colin.
Yeah.
Good on you, man.
Yeah. So, like I said in my video preview, I think there's a thunderstorm that's about to blow in this evening around about now. Colin, how are you, man? The voice of reason.
I would call myself the voice of throwing people who are uneducated as fuck right to the wind, but to each their own.
So, Colin, don't mix your words. Just get down to it. You know what I mean?
Mate, we're all good over here, right? We're fourth in the league after Chelsea's fuck up the other night, which I found quite amusing.
So did I.
Even though I am a fan of Sarri as a coach, but that's neither here nor there. And all I've seen is the last few days, weeks, months. Oh, it doesn't matter if we're in fourth. We're going to lose it on Sunday anyway because we're going to get beat by Man City. And I'm just sitting there like, no. If you think that, then don't bother turning up on Sunday. That's all I'll say to that.
Okay, but let's just take it back a few steps. So we played against Cardiff City, and I was fortunate enough to get the ticket to go and do my my video. You probably saw my reaction there. Colin, what did you think of the performance against Cardiff City, the 2-1?
It was a weird one because, look, the first half we were awful. Awful first half. I didn't see anyone contributing anything attacking-wise. There's this myth that we miss Ozil's creativity. I didn't see that once in that first half. Not once. And if I'm being honest, I didn't see it in the second half either. But luckily, we did have a bit of fortune, even though we should have had at least one penalty in that first half, from what I saw. However, you can't really complain on the overall picture, because, listen, our goal this season is top 4. That's it. That's it. All we can ask for is 3 points, and we got that. So, for me, we're moving in the right direction. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so for you, it was more about the result rather than the performance.
Yeah. It's been like that for months. I'm not concerned about the performances. I'm not concerned about team selections. I'm not concerned about any of that. All I care about is getting points from games to help us achieve our goals. Because if we get top 4 this season, we'll be able to do more next season, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Richard.
Do you know what? I noticed in the first half of the game we was pretty flat. There wasn't a lot of creativity going forward, not really that much into attack. My only downside to that is that I expected more. Cardiff was the better team in that first half. There's no doubt. They created more chances to what we did. I don't think it should have been a penalty for us, really, because it looked as if it was a dive. And I do feel that we should have had another penalty as well, which was a penalty, but the referee didn't give it. Second half, we played a little bit better, but my turning point was when Alex Iwobi came on, because Klejanek played a little bit better in going forward. Guendouzi, I thought he had a decent game against Cardiff, to be fair. I thought he had a quite decent game. But Lacazette, for me, was man of the match because of his work rate, his hold-up play, Everything was top notch from him, absolutely. But I'm happy that we got the 3 points. That's all that matters, because top four for us is the most is priority, and to get in that Champions League next season. And you got to realise, when we're going to have this Champions League money coming in, we're also got the Emirates money coming in, and we're also going to have Adidas money coming in. So it's all good for us, really, at the moment.
I've got a question for Colin. Colin, I know you're fairly happy because we've got the result, we've got the 3 points. But going forward, we know that Unai Emery has to, well, I guess, get rid of quite a few players in the squad. And one player that stuck out for me on that night was Mohamed El-Neni. Now, watching the game there in the stadium, looking at Lacazette literally calling for the ball as he was making runs behind the back four, not being given the ball, El-Neni in a lot of space, and rather than going forward, he was passing the ball left to right and maybe back. I guess maybe he's probably lacking confidence. But going forward, Colin, surely you must think there are some players that Unai Emery needs to get rid of if he wants to, next season, improve on the top 4 spots. So I understand what you're saying. Literally, you're happy with we've got the 3 points because the 3 points is more important than the performance. But going forward, don't you think Unai Emery, probably in his mind, he already knows there's certain players that have to leave Arsenal if we are to improve?
I'm sure he does know that, Alex. He's a smart man. He's no dummy. Unai Emery is a very intelligent manager and a very astute manager, even though that's kind of the same thing in a way. But the thing is, this is why I got frustrated with certain people in our fan base the other night, right? People make out like, oh, we've got this amount of money and, and we can, go out there and Stan Kroenke doesn't invest in the club and, it's all his fault and whatnot. Listen, we cannot add to our wage bill because we're already at the threshold of it because of FFP. That's why. Not because we can't afford it. Don't believe that bullshit where people will say, oh, Arsenal have no money to spend. We have money to spend. But what have I been saying since last summer? Our wage bill holds us back. I've been saying that for months, and yet big accounts want to jump on it and be like, oh, it's Stan Kroenke's fault. Here's an idea. Do some research first before you open your mouth. Jesus Christ. But as far as individual players go, there are players that will be let go. Ramsey's going anyway. So that's what? 100 odd K off the wage already. Ozil he'll be gone. That's 350K gone. And the way I see it, I'll be happy if Ozil goes because, quite frankly, he's the most frustrating player to watch. I'm sick of people giving him a buy just because it's Mesut Ozil, right? It's not the fact that he's on 350 grand a week. That's a part of it, but it's not the only reason. He just doesn't contribute enough. He doesn't. I'd rather see him go, if I'm being brutally honest. El-Neni, yep, he'll be gone as well. I don't see what he offers. He's literally a safety-first footballer. That's all he is. Nothing more, nothing less. I can see Lichtsteiner going. I think that was more of a stopgap than anything else. Because Juve are a very astute club in the way they operate. They don't generally give players away that will get in their team. Like, they're not that kind of club. So Lichtsteiner kind of coming in, even though I was happy about it to begin with, Juve kind of let us have him because look, there's a reason why he came in on a free. Juve weren't going to extend his contract, so that's how that happened. Koscielny, he's gone, man. He should have been gone ages ago, man. I mean, how is he still here? I have no idea. Out of the players that will probably be kept, I can see Bellerin being kept. He's been he's been great this season, and I'm gutted for him that he's out for the rest of the season. I'm proper gutted. Rob Holding, he'll still be around because I think Emery wants to build the defense around Rob Holding because he was sort of our ball carrier in the defense, if that makes any sort of sense. And we've really struggled we've struggled from a defensive standpoint since he's been out the team. So I can see Rob Holding featuring a lot more next season. Mustafi, I'm torn on. I don't know if he's going to go or if he's going to stay. To be fair to him, he's actually been all right this season. So if you're basing it off the season, I'd be tempted to give him another go. You know? But whether or not Emery will do that, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. John Cross came out today and spouted the whole 40 million bullshit. Seriously, what the fuck does that guy know? Honestly, what the fuck does that guy know? He knows about as much as us fans do. Right? So there you go. We'll probably have something within the region of 100 million to spend in the summer, I would imagine. And that's due to players being let go and their wages being freed up. And if you just look at the whole Ramsey and Ozil situation, that frees up like 500k in wages alone. Think how many players we could buy with that.
Yeah,
how many top players we can get with that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do enough research, but I think I read somewhere that Ozil allegedly turned down an opportunity to go to PSG. So I don't know how true that is. I read it, I think, on the Standard or somewhere on the internet.
I've seen that report, and if that's the case, then he's gone in the summer. For reports like that don't get fabricated from nothing.
Please. I'm saying nothing.
You're gonna get so much hate for that.
I don't care.
I know you don't.
Right, so let's quickly go into the chat before we go on to our second point. There's Luca Coata. He says, the first half very flat, no creativity in the team. Cardiff looked good. If they had a clinical striker, they would have won. But second half, good. Guendouzi was okay. Lacazette, man of the match. Right, so he's getting on to another point actually we're going to talk about. Are you guys happy with Denis Suarez? For me, no, because he isn't an upgrade. He is a downgrade. For me, you honestly think he is upgrade. Behave with your... Okay, but I get behind him till the end of the season. So that brings us to the second point we want to talk about. The signings. No, not plural, actually be singular. The signing. Denis Suarez. Now, Richard, I saw your video yesterday when you spoke about welcome Denis Suarez to Arsenal.
Yeah. And
you listed off all these teams that he had played for previously. Man City, Sevilla, Villarreal, and Barcelona. And the first thing that came to my mind was, is this boy just a journeyman? Because he's only 25 years old, but he's been to, 5-6 teams already in his career. Is he a journeyman? What do you think he can bring realistically to Arsenal? And do you think he's an upgrade or is he a downgrade, as Luca has said in the chat?
Well, I honestly think that Denis Suarez is an upgrade from Mkhitaryan as well, and he's a little bit of an upgrade from Alex Iwobi as well, because with Denis Suarez, his strengths is his vision, his acceleration, and the only weakness that Denis Suarez has got is his aerial duos. He's not practically that great at doing that. But for what I've seen of him, he's absolutely an upgrade. Definitely, because he's got that end product to what Alex Iwobi doesn't. And the only player that we've got that likes to attack the defense to the opposition is Alex Iwobi, because Mkhitaryan doesn't. Ramsey, he likes to find those little spaces that he can get into. He doesn't fully attack them, not like that Denis Suarez or Alex Iwobi does. Alex Iwobi's got more pace. So I think it's an upgrade for us, really. But you think about it. We've only paid out £2 million for this loan deal. And to us, that's a lot of money. But to Arsenal, that's like £10. They can just go out and spend that. So really, I think it's an upgrade to what we've actually got now. And I think he could push us to stay in that top 4 spot this season if he gets enough playing time. And he has worked with Unai Emery and won Europa League with him. So I think it's an upgrade.
Okay. And Colin, what's your opinion on Denis Suarez? Actually, would you have liked to see more signings? Because a whole plethora of players, as usual, linked to Arsenal. And in the end, we only got one player, Denis Suarez.
Well, this is going to be controversial, but I actually think the window was a good window. I really do. And the reason why is because, look, we knew that we could only get loans, right? We knew that. So you can't really complain about that. And when Unai Emery said that, the fan base went into meltdown, right? And me personally, I didn't see a problem with it because I knew that the wage bill would hold us back. But with Denis Suarez, he's an Emery guy. He's an Emery guy. He's bringing his own people in, which to me it's good because oftentimes you've seen managers come into clubs not being able to bring their own people in, and that doesn't really work out well for them. The biggest example of that would be Antonio Conte at Chelsea last year. He wasn't allowed to bring his own people in for whatever reason, and it didn't work out for him. Now, what Denis Suarez will bring, right? From what I've seen, he's fairly quick, and he's got that end product that Richard was talking about. The thing with Ramsey is he's very lethargic. That's how I would describe what he's like sometimes. Because oftentimes when he plays number 10, if you notice, whenever he tries to make that run, he stops and then he turns.
Yeah.
Like, is that not the most infuriating thing you've ever seen? Like, and when he does stop, the opposition's given a chance to regroup and get their shape back. And then by then, the chance is gone. With Denis Suarez, it's like he's not going to give the opposition the chance to regroup and get their shape back. And the thing about it is he can play as a number 10 or on either flank. And Emery's already said he's going to play in that final third. So he's not going to play central midfield. He's either going to play number 10 or on either flank. That's what's going to happen. So with me, I'm on board with this signing. I really am. I'm on board with it. The way I see it, we have to back every signing that comes through the door. We're not going to see players come in that are well known. We're not going to do a Chelsea and go through Milan and Juve to get Higuain. We're not going to do that. Right? We are not going to do that. We're going to look at players who we can negotiate with other clubs for, who suit Emery's system and will improve us over time. That's what we're looking at. We're not looking at an instant fix. That's what Man United did wrong. They went with the instant fix solution, and look how well that's worked out. I'd rather us take the long route to fixing our problem than just going for the quick fix, because a quick fix doesn't do anything. It just masks the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that quick fix actually kind of proves it with Lichtsteiner, really, if you think about it.
Yep.
Because I think with Lichtsteiner, it was a panic. That's what I think, because we only had one decent right back, and that was Bellerin. So if Bellerin was injured, we had no one apart from Cole Jenkinson. But Cole Jenkinson, to give him the credit, I actually think that he's actually played well the past couple of games that he's played.
Do you know why that is? Because he's worked hard. He works hard.
Exactly.
Do you know that's the thing, right? As much as I don't, look, do I think Carl Jenkinson's good enough for Arsenal? No. But one thing I will give him credit for, he will give his all, even if that's running around like a headless chicken sometimes. Right? Even if it's like that. But even when he does that, at least it's noticeable that he's trying. Do you know what I mean? With certain players in the squad, it looks like they're trying, but are they? Do you know what I mean? Some players flatter to deceive sometimes. Like, you can look at it and think, oh, they're trying. I'll be like, well, they're not really. At least with Jenkinson, it's noticeable.
Well, truth be told, actually, in the game against Cardiff, he had a good match. He had a good match, and literally, like you say, it was noticeable because he was trying. He was running back, tracking back, and he was part of the attack as well with the link-up play with him and Aubameyang. So yeah, you're right. There's certain players, they give the impression that they're trying, Mesut Ozil, but no, we can see you're not trying. You know what I mean?
Ozil, Mickey.
Yeah, Mkhitaryan, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, I just quickly want to go back into the chat. There's some more. There's a whole load of comments here in the chat, and we've got one here from Squint Est, and he says, or she says, or they say that we will beat Man City 4-0.
Someone's confident, Jesus.
And then
I'm confident, but I'm not 4-0 confident, Jesus.
No.
And then Paul Smith says, ha ha ha, go on, son. And Jose Donker says that Dennis Suarez is an upgrade. He's an upgrade to Iwobi, but he's not a central midfielder. But I think, Jose, if you listen to what Colin was saying, that he can play in a multitude of positions there. And then Skin S again says, nobody is an upgrade on Iwobi. I'm not so sure about that. And then...
Sounds like he's got a troll in the comment box.
Probably. And then I've got a comment here. Someone says, the Arsenal community on Twitter and YouTube is full of uneducated clowns.
They copied my tweet, didn't they?
Oh my God.
Let me go on.
Who was that? Whoever it was follows it.
And the sad thing is, the mindless drones will follow what they say and take it for the truth, when the reality is these people know very little. Now, I wonder who wrote that. Colin?
Yeah. I knew it. Do you know what, right? I kind of figured that would get put out there. Fucking hell. Who was it that posted that, by the way?
It was you.
yeah, I know it was me, but who put it in the comment box?
No. I just screenshot it and I just thought, oh, that's quite
okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so just quick, one more comment in the chat. We've got let's see, I've got a whole load of comments here. Right, so Luca and Kawata, his prediction for Sunday is 5-1 to Man City.
Well, considering they lost to Newcastle 2-1.
Okay. See, this is where I'm going to go back on what I tweeted out this week, right? Now, to those of you with a brain, you will know exactly who that tweet was meant for. Right? I did not name this guy for a very good reason, because I'm not going to waste my breath on it. Okay? But the reason why I called out the idiots on Twitter with that tweet and the idiots within the YouTube community within that tweet, right, is because when we're doing well, it's all sunshine and roses, right? Everything's going well. Everyone's on the same page. Great. Got no problem with that. When shit hits the fan, it's like, oh, we're shit. Oh, the manager's not elite. Oh, the manager's fucking useless. The fan base is bipolar. Do you know what I mean? And I know, like, I know that sounds funny. I know it does. But the thing is, I'm being honest with you here. The fan base is bipolar as fuck. So, I'm not joking, right? There's the AFTV lot, right? Where they have what I like to call the mindless drones, right? Who follow these people and take what they say for the truth. Simple, right? I'm including DT in that. I don't care if he watches this and calls me out for it. I do not give a fuck. Fact of the matter is, months ago, I had him on strings, right? Secondly, you have the people in the other podcast world, okay? I'm not talking about Tom. I'm not talking about Chick. I'm talking about the people who claim to have inside sources at the club. Those people. They think because they claim to have inside sources, which, to be honest, does anyone believe for a fact that they do?
You know what? I don't think no one does.
Anyone with a brain, does anyone believe that those people have inside sources or whatever at the club or agents or whatever it is? No. Because they'd see through your bullshit. Which is why I continually say, I don't claim to know anything. I just give my opinion. Even when I was doing the Much Arsenal videos, right? Not once did I claim, I know this, I know that. I've always stated from day one, it's my opinion, okay? But these people who have the spotlight on them, they think they know better than everybody else when they don't. They don't. They know more, or they know about as much as we do here tonight. It's fact. It's fact. And the mindless drones will take what they say for the truth. When the reality of it is, what they say is irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Irrelevant. What I say is irrelevant. As much as I hate saying this, what every fan says on podcasts as regards to the club, as far as they're concerned, is irrelevant. It's the truth. Simple.
The only thing is, guys, we can only say what we see with our own eyes. That's practically it. And Colin's right. I mean, I don't think anyone has got sources inside the actual club itself. We're only going by eyesight. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
People may have different opinions on the club. You had fans on Twitter saying Emery out when only we just lost our first game.
That was always going to happen, though, Richard. That was always going to happen. You have idiots that claim that.
Exactly, but the only thing is, right, those fans, they can't be true fans or true football fans because they will know that we are at a building stage in this team under a new manager.
Yep.
So we've got to let Emery have time to get the team that he wants, because most of that is Arsene Wenger's deadwood.
Precisely.
So you've got to give him time. He hasn't really Emery hasn't put a stamp on the club to say this is my Arsenal now. No. Yes, he brought in Socrates. Yes, he brought in Guendouzi. Yes, he brought in Torreira, and now he's brought in Denis Suarez. But the only player out of those that's actually played for him is Denis Suarez.
All right, guys. So look, let me just say this. So anyone's watching at this point in time, if you like what you see and what you hear, make sure you subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV, as well as follow Colin and Richard from Arsenal TV. I've put their links in the comments box below. Right, so let me just quickly go into the chat. You know, just the chat has caught fire apparently, and I did say there's a storm brewing, didn't I? But anyway, so we've got Paul Smith, who's I think responding to Colin. He says that every club is like that, Colin. I think he's referring to the fan base maybe going to melt down. I'm not sure. And we've got Luca again. He says, I know the fan base is... Luca saying, I know the fan base is bipolar. Yeah, but DT won't watch it because he has so many followers.
See, that's the problem right there. Everyone... I don't want to have a go at him, right? But thing is, he's so up his arse, it's not even funny. Like, I mean, listen, I know every club is like that, okay? I understand that. But with us, it's more than usual. Honestly. Like, because I've seen, there was one channel on YouTube this week, right, in regards to Chelsea, right? And my mate sent me this because he's a Chelsea fan. And he knows how much I like Sarri. So he asked my view on it. And the video was 5 reasons why Sarri should be sacked, right? I could almost imagine an Arsenal channel doing the exact same thing. Not a fan channel, not like a genuine Arsenal fan, but a fan that wants to get like clicks and views. You know what I mean? Mm. That's what I'm getting at. Not the general like fan base with brains, all right? But people who are just in it for clicks and views and see like a cash cow and just capitalize on it like that. That's all I'm getting at.
Okay. Let me just read some more comments here before we go into the last point. I've got one here from, again, Squint EST, and he says, remember when they said Lamar signed and Alexis was staying? And then Paul Smith says, I like AFTV. They got an opinion like you, Colin. And then Route 1 Online, one of our former and first guests on the show, he says, believable, bring back Wenger. Are you sure? Bring back Wenger? What?
Route 1 Online's a troll, man. He's a good lad.
He is. And then Luke again says, Arsenal will never win the league. Never win the league again. Never. 2004 was the last. End of an era. Only way we can win and get back in this club, challenge again, is Kroenke out. And Colin, we must protest. Okay.
No. See, this is what people don't get. This, again, I'm harping back on it, but it goes back to the wage bill. Again, honestly, you tweet Kroenke out, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not defending Kroenke, all right? I'm not. But to say he's at fault for the situation we find ourselves in is utter bollocks, right? It's down to the old manager and the old CEO. That's where the problem lies. You want to blame someone? Blame them.
Okay. And just the last few more comments on here, because like I said, there's just so many comments in the chat. I've got Luca says, Colin is better than DT. And then
I would like to think so.
And then Paul Smith says, Colin, I like you too. And then Luca says, we should boycott. But listen, that's going to be a debate for another time. And it'll be another debate for another time.
Look, guys, the only thing is about boycotting matches is that we're too big of a club to do that. I've said it before. Blackpool can do it because they're a small club. They're in a different league to what we are. But we're too big of a club to do that. And if we're going to boycott matches, there's a lot of fans that are season ticket holders, and some of them are not turning up to games.
A lot.
But do you really expect us to have a 60,000 stadium and no one turns up? There'll be no match. They'll just call it off completely.
Yeah. That's it. And you know what, right? It all goes back to last season, right? People have made the argument to me that, well, some people think that the fans not turning up to games was the reason why the ex-manager got potted. That's not the reason. That's not the reason. That is not the reason. The reason why he got potted was because we were losing games left and right. Right? The board saw the writing on the wall and acted. That's it. Josh Kroenke came in, and within a few months, he sacked everybody, including the ex-manager.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. So, Colin, sorry, let me just pause you there a second. Just a couple more comments have just come out. And again, Route 1 Online says, all I'm saying is Wenger has 3 Premier League trophies and Emery has none.
It's his first season, for God's sake.
Guys, 1 second. And then Luca has come back. He's fired back, and he says, Kroenke is the problem of this club. Yes, he is even. DT agrees. I'm not sure what he means by that. Go on, guys.
Okay, here's the thing, right? I'm not saying that Kroenke is not a problem. Okay, this is what people don't get. Yeah. Is Kroenke a problem? While I don't like him as a person or as an owner, right? My issue is he's not the reason for the situation we're in now. I don't want the guy as an owner. I'm not saying I like him or anything. But he's not to blame for our situation at the moment, right? And as far as the DT agrees thing, just because DT agrees with your opinion, that doesn't make it gospel. Simple.
Okay, and then...
Do you know what, Alex? Do you know what, to be honest, I'm with Colin on this one because you think about it, it was Ivan Gazidis and Arsene Wenger that was doing these contracts and giving ridiculous amount of money to average players. So really, Stan Kroenke is not to blame for that. The only thing he is to blame for is for not investing his own money into the club when
I'll give him blame for. That's the only blame that I give him for, because he's the only manager, I think, in the Premier League that hasn't invested any of his own money into the club. Yeah, and he could have done that when we were losing Fabregas and Nasri. Could have done that then.
Exactly. Yeah. But going back to what Lucas said about, like, DT agrees that that Stan Kroenke is the problem. Yeah, I agree. Stan Kroenke is part to blame, but he's not fully to blame. This is what the fans need to realise. He's not fully to blame. The reason why we can't buy players, the money's there, but we just can't use it because the amount of money that we've given to average players, that's the problem. We need to get them off our wage bill, and I think Emery will do in the summer, because I think he's identified a few players that he is going to get rid of in the summer. El Neni, definitely for one. Mustafi, I would actually give him another year. I'd give him another year because he hasn't been too badly this season. Last season, he was terrible. But this season, I think he knew because of a new manager coming in. I think Mustafi realised that if I don't perform, I'm out the door.
All right, Richard, just let me take a pause there for a second. So it goes on to what somebody else is just saying in the chat here, Josie Donko, and he says that Arsenal have mismanaged funds. Kroenke isn't the main guy at fault. We have high wages, mediocre players. The money was mismanaged. Then again,
Thank you.
Route One Online says, nah, but for Wenger wasn't the problem. So he's just agreeing. And then
How can you say that? How can you say that Arsene Wenger was the problem? We lost 19 away games.
Guys, one second. Hold that thought. So then Paul Smith has fired back, and he's saying that there is a list of owners in the Premier League. How much owners have put in their own money? Kroenke was bottom with 0. And then one more from Route One. He says, where are we? I've lost it now. Wenger wasn't in charge of the money.
We know that.
Well, to the Route One comments, right? I know he's having a laugh. Like, he's a good lad, all right. He's not a troll. He's just having some fun in that.
Yeah. He's one of us.
Fair play.
He's one of us.
Fair play to him. Have some fun, right? Chelsea's Donker's comment, right? Fantastic comment. Loved it, right? Because finally someone is understanding where I'm coming from, right? Do I blame Kroenke for certain things that have gone on the last few years? Yes. I blame him for not investing money when we were losing Nasri, Fabregas, and all of them to the likes of Barcelona and City. He could have invested money then, and he didn't. That's why I don't want him as owner, right? But do I blame him for what's going on now? No, you can't. That's down to the ex-manager. Sorry, I might have to put a pound in the jar later. That's down to the ex-manager and the ex-CEO putting loads of money on bang average players' wages. Simple as that. And that ex-CEO is now at AC Milan. So yes, I can't get rid of him, unfortunately. Oh, Jesus Christ. But do you know what I mean? Like, if you blame Kroenke, you're thinking one-dimensional. You know what I mean? You're not thinking logically, right? If after this season is over, right, and we've got all these players off the wages, right, and Emery's still not being backed, then you know Kroenke is the real problem.
Okay.
Until that happens, just wait and see. All right?
Okay. All right. So I want to go one more time into the chat because, again, the chat has gone into overdrive here.
Yeah.
They've got, again, Route One says, no. Where are we? Yeah, Luca says, how do we address it? How do we address it? How long is this going to take? When will it come to an end? And then Route One says, how can it be his fault that funds are buggered? And then Jose says, we are a self-sustained club. Why go sign 2 top strikers in one season and still have a horrible defense? Route One comes back and says, in my opinion, guys, I'm being serious. I'm screaming. All right. So, Colin, he's actually being serious, Route One.
Do you know what, guys?
He's being serious.
You know what, Alex, can I just put it?
We're going to have words, Route One.
I actually imagined this the other day, and I'll put it up as a tweet as well. We've just got Denis Suarez, right? Imagine this. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, Denis Suarez, hands on their hips because we have just conceded another goal. So, yeah, maybe Emery's thinking, well, do you know what? For now, let's go and see how many goals we can put past the teams if our defense is not doing the job. Maybe we might get away with it. But you got to realize sometimes in January, you're not going to get the players that you mainly want and the time that you want. That's when to do it in the summer. You've got more time in the summer to go and get the job done for the players that you want. You'll be able to go and get defenders. You'll be able to go and get midfielders if you need them. But January, go and get what you need first. So really, to be honest, Emery's priority should have been defence. That should have been his main priority. But because he knew that he wasn't going to get them that he wanted, he thought, right, I'll go and get Aaron Ramsey's replacement instead. Which really, this Denis Suarez, I think is good business, if you ask me, because we've only paid £2 million. That's all.
Yep. And you know what else, Richard, right? There was talks of Gary Cahill and Benatia in January, right? As far as I'm concerned, there are stopgaps. I would rather us wait till the summer than sign either of them. Right? Gary Cahill, because he's not getting game time at Chelsea, that's basically another Danny Welbeck situation. So I wouldn't want Gary Cahill for that very reason. Benatia, I've seen enough of him in a Juventus shirt to know that we should not be signing him. He's an injury-prone defender. You think Koscielny, when he's injured, is bad. Benasia's basically that. Is he a good player? Yeah. But he's got massive injury problems. He always has.
Yeah.
I'd rather us wait till the summer than sign another injury-prone defender. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, to be honest, I would actually wait until summer anyway.
Richard, sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off there.
Sorry, go on.
Quickly go into the chat, and then we'll go on to the last point. I've been set up for the last 10 minutes. Right, so back in the chat, we've got Chelsea, who says, Liverpool, they haven't mismanaged funds. The scouts went out and got the right players in every position. Paul Smith says, Liverpool spent 160 million this year, and we spent 60 million. Then Lucas says, okay, sorry, what players? Actually, I'll leave that question for the end. Jose says, when we scout better, we need to scout better, these players. And here's one for Colin. Again, Route 1 Online says that he started a new channel, and he says that Colin is the most interesting human I have ever seen. I am obsessed with him. So there you go, Colin. He's obsessed with him.
I'm a bit creeped out here.
There's a reason. Do you know what, guys? There's a reason why Liverpool have spent a lot of money, because they're getting backed by their owners. It's as simple as that.
Coutinho.
Exactly. They sold Coutinho to get in the money that they got from that. They went and brought out a goalkeeper as well as Van Dijk. So they're using their money wisely. But we need to get Ozil off our payslip, because he's the highest amount of player. He's the highest amount that's being paid. So
we sell Ozil, right? We'll free up more money. Like it's really that simple. And you know what? Jose makes a great point. We need to manage our money better. We do. That's a fact. And he's right in the sense that we need to scout better as well. I do agree with that. The only time where I've thought to myself we've scouted decent players is when we've brought in Torreira, Guendouzi, certainly. But outside of that, and okay, Mavropanos as well, you can link him in with that as well. But outside of that, we've not really scouted great. Do you know what I mean? We've sort of taken like the scraps in a sense. Aubameyang happened by accident. He was leaving. I think he was leaving Dortmund anyway. So, and I still don't understand why other top clubs weren't in for him. I mean, if you ask me, we didn't really need him at the time. I mean, we still had Lacazette at the time, and even though Aubameyang got all those goals for us when he came, he suffered from the same thing that Lacazette did. And what we're seeing now is Lacazette's like the better of the two when it comes to hold-up play. Aubameyang's more of a poacher than he is an out-and-out centre forward.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know what? Giles is right. We do need to scout better, and hopefully with the rumors of a new director, whether that be the guy that there's one of them that scouted Fabregas when he first joined us, I think. I don't know all the ins and outs of that one. But the other one is the technical director at Roma, Monchi, who's one of the best in the game, bar none. He's the guy. He's the guy that brought Cengiz Under to Roma. So, and he's on fire right now. So, the way I see it, if we can get one of those guys in, great. But we need to manage our money better. And I think with the team we've got with Raul and Emery and maybe a new guy coming in as well, I think we'll start to see more of that. I don't think you're going to see bang average players be on more money now. I really don't.
Okay, right. You know what? That brings me on to the last point we want to talk about, which is the match on Sunday versus Man City. And we know the last time that we beat Man City in the Premier League was 2015.
A glorious day. A glorious day.
It was.
That was a brilliant day. That was.
Gap. It's been a big gap. You know, goals from Wally Walcott and the lamppost Giroud. Guys, what's your prediction for Sunday? What's your prediction?
I'm confident. I'm confident, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we take it into context, right? We're fourth in the league now, yeah, because of Chelsea's fuck up the other night. And that essentially what that's done is taken away their biggest advantage over us, their goal difference. So we've got that going for us. But with Man City, their loss to Newcastle the other night, it was very interesting because as I was watching us play Cardiff, I was flicking through both games, and what I saw from Newcastle was what they tend to do against the big sides anyway. They tried. That's it. They tried. Do you know what I mean? They just gave everything for the cause. And Rafa Benitez set them up to get a result. And that's all there is to it. If Emery can set us up to get the result, and I don't mean a win necessarily, right? If we can get a point from that game, we're in good position. Because the thing is, Chelsea play Man City at Stamford Bridge in a couple of weeks. So if they're conceding 4 to Bournemouth, right? How much do you think Man City will cause? How much problems do you think Man City will cause them? The way I see it, we're in the driver's seat for a top 4. If we can get a point against City, that puts us in good stead. A win, even better. Do I think we'll win? I hope so. I hope so. And I certainly believe we can do it. But if we're being realistic, I would definitely take a draw as well.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Either way, we can get a result. We can. We just have to believe in it.
Richard.
Yeah, do you know what? I agree with Colin. Do you know what? I'd be very happy with a draw for this game, to be quite honest, in terms of our defence and the problems that we've got at the moment. I have got no doubt that Suarez will definitely play for this game because Emery said that it looks like he could play for this game. But it does depend on how Emery's going to use him for this game. Is he going to use him in the number 10 or is he going to put him out on the flank? That's what Emery needs to figure out, because if he's going to have Ozil playing, then I would actually go with Ramsey for this game and not Ozil, to be quite honest.
Do you know what? I think Denis Suarez will play, but I think what may happen is he may put him on the right to provide cover for Maitland-Niles if he plays. And I'd play... Do you know what? I would play a midfield 3 with Ramsey and that. I wouldn't play Ozil for this game.
No.
He doesn't show up in big games anyway. So the way I see it, Ramsey should be starting. I know he's leaving for Juventus, right? But the thing is, we need players that are going to work hard. And the one thing I can say about Aaron Ramsey, right, in contrast to Alexis, right, at least Ramsey hasn't down-tooled.
That's true.
So for that reason, I'd start him against City.
Yeah,
so you don't think starting Dennis would be a risk? You don't think it'll be a risk to start Suarez against Man City? You would definitely play him.
I play him, yeah. I play him. You know, because it's not a Kim Kallstrom situation where we've brought him in and he's injured. Do you know what I mean? So I think he'll start. And is it a big game for him? Well, yeah, because he's being thrown in at the deep end. But Emery trusts him, so I trust him as well.
Yeah. And you know what? Another thing is, it's more or less that it depends if our defense is going to play as a unit, because they've got to play as a unit. There's no doubt. If we're going to stop Man City from getting through, especially Sterling, and then you've got Sané as well, we've got to stop them. And this is where the defense have to play as a unit, and they need to keep a lookout on their positioning. So going back to the Newcastle game as well, Newcastle, as Colin said, I didn't really watch much of the Newcastle game, but when I looked at the result, I wasn't surprised, because Newcastle have beaten us as well. So, and they do turn up to massive games. They're even happy. Newcastle are even happy if they get a draw. So I would be happy with a draw for this game, but I would go with the 3 midfield, 1 up top, 2 defensive midfielders, 4 at the back.
Okay, right. So let me quick go into the chat before I wrap up this segment of Easy Talk. So we've got Jose Donker again. It says Sanchez, Ramsey, those were £50 million players in today's market. They're both leaving for free. Wenger was a pioneer at finding gems and turned them into world-class players. He lost his touch. No one was mentioning funds then or owner backing. And then Route One has said Carzola class. And Colin, he's also asking, he's a fan of yours. He wants to know, do you have like an email where he can, sing some emails?
I'll tell you what, right? DM me on Twitter, right, and we'll talk.
All right. And then we've got Luca again going on about the result of Sunday. He reckons, it's going to be either 4 or 5-1 to Man City. Come on, we have bones in the defense. Honestly, think it'll be another Liverpool. And he says, we can't cope with City attack. It's at City. And then Jose says, set up defense, go for the counter attack, 3-4-3 formation. And then he's saying actually that he doesn't want Denis Suarez rushed in, so he wouldn't play Denis Suarez. The league, he needs to adapt. So he needs to adapt to the Premiership. And then the last one from Luca, he says, we're not stopping City. We're going to lose. Sorry to be negative, but it's my opinion. Yeah, and we've always said that everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Listen, why does the fans have to be to have fear for Man City? Man City can be beaten. You just have to go. You just have to go full throttle at them.
Yep. And the thing is, right?
And if you're going to play,
Etihad, Crystal Palace beat them.
Exactly.
Yeah. If Palace can get a result there, so can we. I know Man City were on a bad run of form during that time, but thing is, 2 losses in a row for them is bad form. All right?
To them, it is because they're challenging for the title.
Exactly. All we have to do is set ourselves up to get the result. We don't need the win necessarily. If we get a point, we're in good stead for top 4. That's the way I see it. Do you know what I mean? If we can get a draw, right? Considering Chelsea play Man City in a few weeks, we're right up there for top 4. If we had a solid defense, we would comfortably get top 4. That's how bad the other teams are. Because Tottenham aren't safe in the top 4. Like, don't care what anyone tells me, they're not.
No.
Chelsea are in an absolute mess. Chelsea's problem is they were on an upward turn a few months ago, right? Now, because of a few losses here and there, and because what we did to them, right? And because of what Bournemouth did to them, they're on that downward slope. Whereas we're on that uphill trajectory. Because all we've been doing is picking up a couple of good results here and there. Have we had bad games? Yes. But we've had more good games this season than bad games.
At least we're winning games away from home as well this season.
Exactly. And
don't get me wrong. I know we lost to Southampton, but you got to realize those 3 goals were all from headers. That's bread and butter shit.
Yeah.
The ones that so really the defense should have done better with that. There's no doubt about that. You can't blame our attack and say, look, you should have went and scored another 4 goals. No, it's not like that.
No.
The way this we're doing better now to what we did last season with Wenger. I'm sorry, because we lost nearly every away game last season.
We lost 2-1
in the league.
Richard, we lost 2-1 to a garbage Newcastle side last year.
Exactly.
Come on.
And we lost to Brighton. And we lost to Brighton.
Bro, listen, I watched that Brighton. I'm like, if you go back on my channel, yeah, and go back and watch all them old reviews, right, of just straight away losses, right? Brighton, Atletico. Do you remember the Atletico Madrid game away in the Europa League and how bad that was?
Yeah.
Are you telling me you're not seeing even a little bit of an improvement off that garbage? Come on. Like, because I remember vividly playing Man City twice last season in March.
Back to back as well.
Right? In the cup final and in the league. What happened? Same scoreline, same result, same garbage.
We conceded 6 goals in what, 4 days?
Exactly. We've improved on last season. I don't care what anyone tells me. Were we 4th in February last year? No. So that tells you right there that we've improved. Yes, other fuck-ups have contributed along the way, but we've been getting results here and there. Emery's doing a damn good job. The way I see it, he's overachieving.
Okay, and on that note, I'm going to.
And do you know what, Alex? I just want to say one thing though. I can understand where Luca's coming from, because Man City have lost games and they've come back and smashed teams. Mm-hmm. So I can understand that, but you've got to have faith in Emery. Emery, if we can go and beat Chelsea, we can go and beat City. Yeah, we was unlucky against Man United. Don't get me wrong, but you've got to realise this is a complete different. Emery's got a complete different philosophy and a different complete strategy to what Arsene Wenger did. Arsene Wenger kept the same formation week in, week out. Emery is not...
I guarantee you we'd lose on Sunday if Arsene Wenger was manager. Guarantee.
Exactly.
No, but the thing is, I think what Luca is trying to say is that we still have the Arsene Wenger DNA in the players, because the majority of the players in the first team there are still Arsene Wenger's cast-offs. So
that's not Emery's fault, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. But I think that's what Luca is trying to get at. That, you know, even though, you know, we've got a new manager, he's brought in some players, we still have the DNA in the way, the philosophy, and it's going to take time. I'm just saying that's my idea on what he's trying to say.
Yeah, but Alex, I agree with that. But the only thing is, you got to realise these players have been managed for 22 years. Emery has only been here for 8 months, and that's what the fans need to realise. Yes, Emery is not going to get his style of play into this team straight away. It's because they've been managed for so long.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. But give Emery time, give him another 2-3 windows, and I will guarantee you a lot of the majority of the players that we've got now will be out the door.
All right, on that note, I'm going to have to stop. Listen, I told you, didn't I say, subscribers and viewers, I said there's a storm brewing, and the storm is like, it's still here, thanks to Colin and Richard. But listen, it's been an absolute blast. So again, whoever came into the chat, I want to thank everyone, even Route 1. We're going to hook up with something again. And the viewers, again, if you've watched this or you're going to watch it at a later date, make sure you subscribe to Colin as well as Richard at Arsenal TV. Listen, guys, it has been an absolute blast. It's been good to have Colin back on the channel, the voice of reason, as I call you. And we're going to do some more work together, aren't we, Cole?
Damn right. I'm the new voice of reason in this house, bitch.
And Richard was going to be featured with me on Mondays with
fan comments.
It's a good segment that we do every Monday. But anyway, guys, you know,
and obviously my preview would be coming up tomorrow. So
the police is coming. But anyway, this has been Cannon Fodder with Easy Talk, featuring Colin, the voice of reason, and Richard from Arsenal TV, and we are out.